Hey everybody, how's it going? I want to talk about how grateful I am. I was raised in a day and age where I had to exhibit self control. I guess when I was a little girl, although I was treated unkindly by certain people, I think that in a previous video I talked about how I was kind of silenced. And so a lot of times in my life, I think that it actually has really helped me along the way because I was always afraid to state what I thought was the obvious. For instance, if I was with someone who was louder, who was mean, or who was kind of domineering, I had a huge struggle stating how I felt or what I thought or what I believed or what I saw or whatever the case. I think you know what I'm saying. So, for instance, if I was with someone who was aggressive and not necessarily in a mean way, just someone who was outspoken, if they said the sky was blue and I looked up and I saw it was a cloudy day, I'd say, oh, okay. And I never would state, well, I see clouds. So I could never state it. I never had an opportunity to use my voice. So I was always kind of thinking, and I still do this today, if I'm in a situation with people who are more outspoken than me, I always kind of sit back, assess the situation, and then make statements that are calm, concise, and in a roundabout way, as if someone would call it wimpy or whatever. So I'll make a statement, but I'm always assessing to make sure I feel safe. And I think what I've learned, what has been an asset for me, is I've always delivered my message in a calm, quiet, and concise manner. I have been able to, throughout the past so many years, state my facts and say, well, this is how I'm seeing it. And I'm, I'm just maybe I'm not seeing it your way or I've had a different experience. So I'm always very kind in my approach. And I think for some odd reason, I don't necessarily know if it's the inception of the internet or cell phones or tablets or whatever, where people can hide behind a screen, where they can lash out and not see our reactions. Like someone can say to me, oh, you're a terrible mother, and they don't see the tears behind the screen. So of course they they can say it without repercussions. Um, they can say it without seeing the hurt and pain, shame on someone's face. And I think that's the reason a lot of younger people behave in different manners we do, is because if I know my words may hurt someone, I know that I'm probably not going to say those words. And I always kind of go by the age old phrase, if you have nothing nice to say. And so I think because I live a very quiet life, I'm still pretty much, I'm a little bit more direct now, but I still am considering the receiver, the person on the other end. And when it comes to parental estrangement, these kids nowadays are just saying terrible things about their moms and dads. And they believe they have the right to lash out and say hateful things. And then not only that, they one up one another, do the most outrageous cutting off of parents that I've ever heard of. They'll come up with, we can say every excuse in the book, but they'll tell stories. Now, whether these stories are fact or fiction, I have no idea. I know things have been said about me that weren't true. And to be honest with you, I don't have time to debunk the theories that are. And what's so interesting is they can say what they want. They don't see our reaction. They don't see us crying or broken hearts. And they have no idea certain parents have committed suicide because of this. But what it comes down to is I can't control what my daughters tell people. I just can't. I can limit my exposure to mean people. I can say I'm not comfortable in this situation, and that has given me kind of more of an oomph to take even more steps in order to set boundaries around my parameter to say, you know what, I'm not really interested in doing that. Or, no, the sky is blue. Do you see the sun? I don't know. I don't. I hope what I'm saying makes sense to somebody. I think I lost my train of thought. But anyways, that's all I wanted to say. I hope this video helps, and I hope you're having a great day. I'll be back.